Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Thursday, 15th February 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group, big changes coming to the public service of St. Lucia. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Plans are afoot for the public service to undergo a major transformation in St. Lucia. A regional management consultant has been tasked by the government to, among other things, develop a strategic plan for the public service. Zane Romulus of the DBS News World reports.
The government is currently working towards improving the efficiency and effectiveness of the public service. To achieve this, the administration has secured the services of Dr. Aubrey Armstrong, a Guyanese management consultant based in Barbados, to create a strategic plan, operations manual, and action plan for the modernization of the Department of the Public Service.
As you know, the public service is a very challenging entity, not just the public service department, but the entire government machinery. And we have over 7,000 persons in the public service. There are about 14,000 people who are actually compensated by governments, coming from governments' recurrent expenditure on a monthly basis.
In addition, the government plans to introduce new legislation to guide the operations of the service.
This public service has the staff orders that has been in existence for over 40 years. And at this point, we are in the process of revising and bringing a new bill for modernizing the public service. So we have the bill ready. It is now in the public domain for discussion and feedback from the public. And we also have the regulations that will accompany the bill.
The Public Service Minister also announced that the Administrative Division of the Public Service will move to Orange Grove Plaza this year.
There were 2 floors that government has actually committed. We are actually ready to pay the rent, and over a period of time, it will be owned by the government. So the Public Service Administration will be located in that place.
Dr. Albert Poyet also indicated that the public service changes will come with training and reorientation of public officers to ensure quality service delivery. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
Unfinished projects started under the Citizenship by Investment program are being addressed, according to Dr. Terence Drew, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. Glenn Bart of SKN Newsline reports.
In several places, projects have been at a standstill, with some obviously abandoned, with developers unable to finance projects to their completion. On a recent exclusive interview on Newsline 360, presented on the St. Kitts-based Television Caribbean TBC Channel 40 The Cable, Prime Minister Drew commented on the situation when questioned by host Andrea Huey. The Prime Minister also commented on the general strength of the CBI program.
What we are doing now, we are seeking to acquire them, and there are persons who have expressed interest in buying some of them, and we are moving because we can't have empty shells hanging around. So we are seeking now to acquire them and to develop them. For example, you see some buildings over on Frigate Bay Hill. What if we were to get those buildings and turn them into apartments for people to live in? That is one of the things we possibly can think of.
Right next to Hotel Indigo.
Exactly. There's one right next to Hotel Indigo, and already there's interest in buying it. Mm-hmm. And so we are now pursuing how we can facilitate that process to develop it. So we can, instead of having one hotel being developed, we can have 2 being developed over there as well. So with respect to the CBI, St. Kitts and Nevis has taken the strictest path in terms of regulating its industry. We have increased the cost. We have also doubled down on our due diligence. It was very good before, but we have done that. We have put a board in place. We have also putting in place an international security secretariat to make sure that we protect even more our citizenship and our passports. These are things that we have done that others have not done as yet. And we are hoping that what we have done well, others can adapt, and what they have done well, we can adapt. But I tell you, the changes we have made have really engendered a lot of goodwill. And that was always the aim.
Prime Minister Drew said his administration remains committed to the diversification of the national economy, reducing over-dependence on CBI through the Sustainable Island State agenda. Greenback reporting for SK Newsline.
From a security standpoint, all went well on Carnival Monday in Trinidad and Tobago. That's the report from the Gold Commander of Carnival, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Kelvin Thompson. TTT News has some details.
ACP Thompson said police officers are out in their numbers in all 10 policing divisions, with all key security points being manned.
Our interaction with masqueraders and other stakeholders out on the ground presented for us a positive picture for the celebrations today. I have visited several areas around the country together with the Commissioner of Police and other senior officers prior to this, all to ensure that the officers are comfortable and all the logistics were in place so that the public is able to have the carnival experience in a safe environment.
Meanwhile, Commissioner of Police Erla Harewood Christopher said throughout the carnival period there was no indication that police officers had absconded from their duties amidst the rumors of perceived manpower shortages. The police commissioner said because of the meaningful police presence throughout the festivities, events were not interrupted by any form of major disturbances. The TTPS has increased road and crime suppression exercises leading up to and beyond the finale as it anticipates the usual cool-down activities on Ash Wednesday at various locations.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
In association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Chief Executive Officer of the Nassau Paradise Island Development Board comments on the impact of crime on tourism in the Bahamas. More in this ZNS News item.
Crimes against our visitors have been negligible. If you think last year, the records look like we're going to hit 9 million or just over. And if you measure the percentage of recorded crimes against the visitors, I think someone did a calculation and it's 0.0000017%. Incredible. I don't think there's anywhere else that you would see a statistic like that. Jamaica's promoting that theirs is 0.03% and that we can say that we're even lower. And so that's something that we should celebrate, that we should be proud of.
Still, Jibril says taking the precautions to ensure visitor safety.
I just spoke with NAD, and they've had a robust start to February. We know that the advisory came out at the end of January. Of course, initially there were some concerns, and I think that's natural. But the message that we keep saying, we're fortunate people call, and they say, okay, I've read this. What can I expect? And when you let them know that we are a level 2, that hasn't changed for about 4 years. When you talk about every single European city and country pretty much that's a level 2, so that's Northern Europe, Denmark, Sweden, that people look at as some of the safest places in the world. When you look at Germany, the United Kingdom, France, Italy, and we say we're in the same level as them. Now, I think it would be remiss of all of us to say, come and just be free. As we are as locals, we are careful where we go. And as in any big city, I urge people, be cautious.
And now for a regional roundup with Dacia Richards of HGP Nightly News out of Guyana.
We begin with news from Grenada. Grenada's National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, in its latest update on Kikimjeni, says activities at the submarine volcano has subsided. It says, according to information from the UWI Seismic Research Center, UWI-SRC, between 11:14 p.m. on February 9th and 3 a.m. on February 11th, there was increased seismic activity at Kikimjeni. The count of events at the time was 3,400, with the largest measuring magnitude 3.3 recorded on February 10th. However, since 3 a.m. on February 11th, the activity subsided and frequency almost to a complete stop. The agency says it should be noted that the level of activity at the Kikimjeni submarine volcano can either increase, decrease, or remain at normal readings. Additionally, activity levels can fluctuate. The UWI-SRC will continue to monitor the submarine volcano and provide updated analysis of the situation. Based on the information from the UWI-SRC, the alerted level for Kikimjeni remains at yellow. This means that all marine interests should maintain the exclusion zone of 1.5 kilometers. While in Trinidad, a Trinidad-born American resident on her way to the airport to board a flight home on Sunday morning never made it. Kimberly Bahari Forte, a bank employee of New Jersey, USA, and Brian Jeffrey Sixte of Williamsville were killed after the occupant of another vehicle shot them while they were traveling in a car near the Gasparillo overpass. Jeffrey's wife, Jasmine, 55, was in the backseat and was wounded. They picked up Bihari in a Hyundai City vehicle at her Bedeau Street Gasparillo home after 1 a.m. to take her to the Payarco International Airport. Bihari lived in New York and worked at the M&T Bank in New Jersey. She was sitting in the front passenger seat when they got to the Gasparillo overpass. However, several loud explosions were heard and a white Nissan Tita drove up behind them. The car then pulled alongside their vehicle and a gunman opened fire on Jeffrey and Bihari. Jeffrey crashed through the barrier at the Gasparillo entrance to the refinery while the assailants sped off, proceeding north along the highway. Jeffrey's wife suffered injuries and was taken via ambulance to the San Fernando General Hospital, where she remains warded in a stable condition. Police recovered 12.9 mm spent shell casings at the scene and were still trying to determine a motive on Sunday evening. Brian Sudeen, head of the Southern Division, was among the officers who visited the scene. Officers of the Homicide Bureau of Investigation 3 are investigating. Finally, news from St. Vincent. Police in St. Vincent are investigating a case of infanticide involving a 1-year-old baby girl. A 22-year-old male suspect of Rose Hall has been apprehended and is assisting the police with the homicide investigation. Preliminary investigations reveal that around 7 p.m. on Saturday, the suspect stole the 1-year-old infant from her home and slashed her throat. The infant's body was later discovered about 51 yards away from her home and pronounced deceased by a medical practitioner. The suspect is a close relative to the deceased. The crime scene was processed by the Crime Scene Unit, CSU, and items of evidential value were collected, including the alleged instrument that was used to commit the offense. A post-mortem examination expected to be carried out on the body to ascertain the exact cause of death. The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, RSVGPF, has extended condolences to all who were negatively affected by this incident. Investigations into the matter are ongoing. I'm Daisy Richards.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's a service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.